want to get into the first 48 hours of the job. You said went great, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket. Talk about that.
Our contract was to look after Miss Houston while she was in the United Kingdom. In advance of that, someone had come out and hired a house for her rather than staying in hotels. And in that house, we did our survey, we did the pre-advance, everything was good. And then Miss Houston had to leave London and go elsewhere, I think to Manchester or Birmingham. And we were not involved in that. It was some promotional thing. And so we were left, I thought, in charge of the house where she was coming back to within 2 or 3 days. Uh, it was a decision of management. No, we don't need any further security at the house. Investigations into the owner of the house revealed that perhaps it was a little bit dubious. It wasn't safe from an informational point of view to allow the house unchecked. And lo and behold, that was the instruction. We won't leave the house alone. We'll let you know when we're coming back. Okay, fine. And in the meantime, of course, the owner went in there, tried to install cameras, listening gear, all with the means of trying to compromise Miss Houston and Robin, and in the process earn £1 million for divulging that information. It's not untypical in as much as the years went by, it became more evident that people closer to her, not just the strangers in commerce, more closer to her, were taking advantage of her, would take advantage at any given opportunity, yes.
When I read about that specific situation, it kind of gave you your first stripe in terms of being the professional that you were.
Well, technically, I was right and they were wrong.
Exactly.
Bear in mind, I spent my whole life telling so-called experts, I told you so. Mm-hmm. And this was one of those instances, I told you so. And thankfully, there was with them at that time, their head of security was Larry Wansley. Larry is the head of security for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. And he's an excellent individual, highly qualified, former FBI official, and he's still working to this day. And we still speak to this day. His phrase is, the beat goes on.
Yes.
And he has a deep baritone voice. And he was on the same page as I was. He too had to combat what was a relatively new touring organization for Whitney Houston. This was in her early years. So in 1988, she'd only been around a little while. And I don't think there was a terrible amount of experience in international touring at that time. So he was quite happy to take a benefit from a person with local knowledge. The others were, no, we do it this way. You may do it in America this way, but we do it differently here. And you'll find as you go through each country in Europe, they'll do that different there too. In fact, the world, everybody does something different to what you expect. But they were learning too. It was a learning process.